When Friends premiered in 1994, no one could have predicted the cultural phenomenon it would become, more how much its 6 stars would change television forever. Among them, Matthew Perry, who played the quick-witted and sarcastic Chandler Bing, became a fan favorite. His comedic timing was unmatched, his delivery effortless, and his charm irresistible. But behind the laughter and success, Perry was living through a private battle that would define and ultimately haunt his life to the world. Matthew Perry was the man who made us laugh. But behind the scenes, he was fighting a war no one could see, and the truth about his life is far more heartbreaking than anyone realized. Matthew Perry was born in 1969 in Williamstown, Massachusetts, to parents who both worked in the entertainment industry. His father, John Bennett Perry, was an actor and model, while his mother, Suzanne Morrison, was a journalist who later became press secretary to the Canadian Prime Minister. When his parents divorced, Matthew grew up between two worlds, splitting his time between Canada and Los Angeles. From a young age, he craved attention and approval, using humor as his way to connect. What no one realized then was that the same quick wit that would make him famous was also a shield against loneliness. By his early 20s, Perry was already a seasoned television actor, appearing in several sitcoms before landing the role of a lifetime. Chandler Bing. The chemistry among the Friends cast was instant, and Matthew's performance quickly became a cornerstone of the show's success. Audiences adored him for his awkward charm, his one-liners, and his relatable vulnerability. But as the world laughed with Chandler, Matthew was quietly spiraling. During the height of Friends, Perry suffered a serious jet ski accident that led to a prescription for painkillers. What started as a medical necessity soon became an addiction that would dominate much of his adult life. In interviews years later, he admitted that during several seasons of Friends, he had little memory of filming at all. He could make millions of people laugh on screen while feeling completely empty inside. "I was never high at work," he once said, "but I was painfully hungover." Perry entered rehab more than a dozen times over the years, battling addiction to both alcohol and opioids. His weight fluctuated dramatically, a visual reflection of his inner turmoil. Yet through it all, his castmates stood by him, calling him family and supporting him through every relapse. Still, Perry often said that fame made his addiction worse. "You can't have an addiction and be famous," he explained. "It doesn't mix. You're followed everywhere, judged constantly. You're living in a fishbowl." Despite his struggles, Matthew Perry never lost his desire to help others. In his later years, he turned his Malibu home into a sober living facility called the Perry House. Providing support for others battling addiction, he also became a vocal advocate for recovery, using his platform to shed light on the realities of substance abuse. He said his biggest hope was not to be remembered for Friends, but for helping people find sobriety. "When I die," he once said, "I don't want Friends to be the first thing that's mentioned. I want helping people to be the first thing." Tragically, on October 28, 2023, Matthew Perry was found unresponsive at his Los Angeles home. He was just 54 years old. The news sent shockwaves across the world. Fans mourned not only the loss of a beloved actor, but of a man who had spent his life trying to heal himself and others. In his memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big, Terrible Thing, Perry wrote, "I would trade all the fame and money for just one more day of peace." Words now feel like a haunting. Farewell. The life and untold tragic fate of Matthew Perry remind us that behind the laughter we see on screen, there are often silent battles we cannot imagine. He was more than Chandler Bing. He was a man who fought, who stumbled, and who kept getting back up because he wanted to make people smile even when he couldn't find his own.